You don't feel uncomfortable being around John, right?
No.
I do.
Yeah, Billy's the only one who's not uncomfortable.
Look at John. John, you're a weird guy. I could see why Billy'd be frightened of you.
I've been a fan of Nicktoons since Doug premiered in 1991. And since having a daughter, I've enjoyed sharing each and every one of them with her. But there's one Nicktoon so disturbing, so infamous, that when the Nicktoons movie was announced, it was the only cartoon left out. It's the only cartoon my dad shut off after one scene and forbid me from ever watching again. And worst of all, it was made by one of the biggest pieces of shit to ever walk the planet. And guess what? He made something else. And I'm back to watch it. This is The Pilot is Dead. Hello, welcome to The Pilot is Dead. My name's Matt Dressel, and every year I crawl out from under a pile of subreddits to take a look at a show that didn't quite make it past that crucial first episode. Today we're traveling back to 1999 to check out the pilot He-Hog, the Atomic Pig, where I'm guessing the pitch was,
I'm a neurotic nerd who likes to sleep with little girls.
Yes, that's right. We're going to be looking at the failed pilot from the creator of Ren and Stimpy, John Kricfalusi. You know, to avoid confusion, let's just call him John Krasinski. Also, I'm pretty sure if you say John Kricfalusi's name 3 times, he'll appear in a mirror and take you. And that's just with his pinky. It's at this point I should probably tell you that all complaints can be mailed to thepilotisdeadshow@gmail.com. Oh, hey, Blue. Hey, everybody. It's the ghost of Blue. Check the mail? Sure. Hey everybody, it's time for Matt's mailbag. Let's take a look. Huh. Well, I guess you can't kill yourself twice, Blue. Right? If you remember from a previous segment of Matt's mailbag, you'll recall I did a quick search to find out what happens if you type "The Pilot is Dead" into Google. Well, 13 episodes and 3 years later, it's not much better. Brace yourselves. What you're about to see is very real, very graphic, and definitely not the setup for a punchline.
Wow. Pretty serious.
So as I mentioned before, the creator of Ren and Stimpy is quite the piece of shit, and is someday destined to be sitting across from my hero, Chris Hansen.
For a comic book, this is the characters. You can see them here. One of them's a hot chick with big cans and nice legs. Who drew that? You?
She's underage, too.
Yeah, very nice.
Am I being taped?
You are being taped.
Oh, crap.
So how did known pedophile John Krasinski get started? Well, John spent his early years working for Hanna-Barbera, bitterly working in the corner, muttering that everyone sucks but him. He was a lot like Droopy the dog, except you didn't want to shoot him.
You know what? Haste makes waste.
Actually, he's exactly like Droopy the dog. Eventually, John would go on to make his first animated film, which was only 1 minute long, called Ted Bakes 1.
What the hell was that?
I'm going to be skipping over a lot of John's life because honestly I don't care about him and I don't really want to revel in his accomplishments. But he eventually found himself working at Nickelodeon, creating arguably one of the most messed up kids cartoons ever made. John and his Spunko chums would go on to be the bad boys of Nickelodeon.
The Spunko offices were kind of gross. These weird little dank rooms
The best way I can describe that studio was it was a shithole.
It's just a shame that that status would include covering up John's very obvious pedophilia and grooming habits as he paraded 13 and 14-year-old girls through Nickelodeon studios. And if you worked with John during this time and allowed it to happen, guess what? You're a piece of shit too.
You did it! Congratulations!
I actually almost got a job at Nickelodeon once as a writer, but failed the interview so spectacularly that they asked me to stop 10 minutes in and start the whole thing over. Despite being unable to tell a joke in an interview for a comedy writer, I thought I still got the job when Nickelodeon sent me a bright orange letter that said Happy Happy Joy Joy on it. But unfortunately, I didn't meet Nickelodeon's rigorous standards that have hired such gems as John Kricfalusi, Dan Snyder, and most recently, Mexican sensation Drake. Ren and Stimpy, John was let go due to a combination of slow work output, being incredibly difficult to work with, and doing stuff like this. That was a scene from the band Season 2 episode Man's Best Friend. Nickelodeon was upset at the graphic, prolonged beating and never actually aired the episode. So to recap, on Nickelodeon, this is okay.
Sweet Lord, no! Are you crazy, man? You can't do that. Here, do this.
Fun fact, I remember the exact moment my dad turned off the TV and banned Ren and Stimpy from our house after one episode.
I'm caught in my own zipper!
Anytime you're ready, Mr. President.
Okay, full!
That record would be later shattered by my mother, who would forbid me from watching Strangers with Candy after just 20 seconds.
Is there no Mrs. Jelinek?
No.
Divorce?
She was murdered.
Sometimes that can be just as painful.
The banned episode would later be played on the abysmal Nightmare Fuel Ren and Stimpy's Adult Cartoon Party Hour, alongside such classics as Repo Games, a game show where people would answer trivia questions to save their repossessed car.
You can't do that. I'm gonna take it to the impound lot, okay?
No. We're leaving with my car today. I don't know the answer.
Say goodbye to your car.
You know what? You. Keep the car.
I can only hope the Repo Men paid a visit to our dear friend John later on.
She deserves the best.
I'll make sure the boys at the chop shop are real gentle with her.
Well, why?
You think I'd be caught dead driving that thing? It looks like a school bus for 6-year-old pimps.
John would eventually create the pilot for He-Hog, the Atomic Pig, a cartoon about a psychiatrist pig that moonlights as a superhero alongside his trusty sidekick, Half-Life. John would pitch the show to the USA Network in 1993. Before the USA Network became a 24-hour Suits marathon, it was actually a pretty risque channel that aimed to reach a younger audience. While my parents were watching Lonesome Dove on TNT, I was over on USA fantasizing about Vanessa Angel.
Then we did a little programming of our own, and look what we came up with.
I'm Lisa.
So if USA created us, and we created Lisa, what does Lisa get to create?
To find out, just press enter.
The station also hosted USA Up All Night, a celebration of bad taste.
Hi, I'm Rhonda Shear. I'm your new USA Up All Night girl, and I use the term loosely.
Honestly, it seemed like the best place for a perv like John. He-Hog the Atomic Pig would go on to be rejected by both the USA Network and MTV, never to air, until now. The pilot was floating around on the internet for a while, but it was low quality and it was missing the opening scene. Well, because God hates us all, someone found that opening scene, restored the pilot, and now we get to watch it. Yay. Now, given that this was a rough pilot, there's no title sequence or theme song, just a pretty standard image to open the show.
Oh, Doctor, something's happening in my life that's just horrible. I don't have anyone to talk to.
Now hush there, young lady.
I should also mention that it wasn't fully animated, so unfortunately, you're going to have to watch it like this. So let's officially meet our hero. He's sweet, good-natured, and...
Well, I'm stacked!
Stacked? What is this stacked?
Stacked! You know, like this!
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
A giant f***ing creep. The entire sequence plays out like John K's twisted fantasy as she continually flaunts her body and complains about her breasts.
The boys at the office, they all stare at me. And they say things.
What kinds of things?
Well, you know, things.
Tell me the things.
Eventually, she even talks about her development as a 12-year-old girl.
I think we need to study your problem beneath the surface. We need to dig down, find the root.
Well, I think I was about 12. I developed pretty early.
Aha! Do you think you did that as a symbol of rebellion?
It's at this point that show turns from just plain creepy to misogynistic.
My father?
You hate him. Admit it.
No, I don't. I love my father.
Yes, you do. You do.
No!
Admit it, you little trollop!
So the scene continues, and honestly, I don't even have a setup for the next thing that happens. I don't have a joke. All I have is regret that this is what I'm doing with my life.
You're right! I do hate him! I hate him! I hate him! I hate him! I hate him! That is the most unselfish thing a man has ever done for me.
So to recap, we're 4 minutes into a 14-minute pilot, and we've established that breasts can be big. I thought this was about a superhero.
Jumping bejesus, my hog sense is tingling.
He-Hog uses his ultra-sensitive taste buds to read the very taste waves in the air.
You know, I'd probably find a detail like taste waves charming if it wasn't wrapped in this pilot. So He-Hog hears that his sidekick Half-Life is in trouble and springs into action, shouting his catchphrase that I'm sure will be said for ages to come.
This is a job for He-Hog. I have the audacity!
That's a worse catchphrase than Solar Man.
I've become a hunk. Fantabulous!
Ah, yes, it wouldn't be a John K. cartoon without something butt-related. And trust me, there's more to come. Actually, in 1993, John was selected as one of 7 artists to redesign the NBC logo. The original logo was carefully designed, paying attention to details like adding 6 feathers to represent all of NBC's divisions. What would John bring to the table?
I just do what I believe in, and I believe in colorful things coming out of your butt.
So He-Hog eventually switches to a spaceship and makes his way over to... No. Sorry. Well, we've got quite the list going already, so we might as well add big flopping racist to that list. So up to this point, we've seen that He-Hog has the power of flight, a super sense of taste, and that's about it. If he's going to save his partner, he's going to need something more.
Looks innocent enough. I don't like the looks of that hut. I'll use my X-ray nipples to see what's going on in there.
Because of course that's what he does. Also, Rocco did it better. It's at this point in the show I'm going to say a lot of sentences I never thought I'd ever say in my life. For example, have you ever wanted to see a praying mantis slowly and graphically torture a molecule? Well, now you can!
It's
This'll make you talk.
I don't like that.
What follows is a wholly uninspired and admittedly unfinished fight sequence where He-Hog fights with, you guessed it, his butt. So He-Hog extinguishes half-life and saves the day. And that's when things get weird. Oh look, it's a giant pile of marmalade, and it's going for, you guessed it, his butt.
What? Welp, nothing I can do now. I got marmalade on my butt.
So then we find out it was Dr. Wart, a character we've never met before, all along. And he tells us all about his diabolical plan.
I'm only going to help starving pigeons.
That doesn't sound so bad. What are you going to feed them?
Canada.
And then, because chaos reigns and nothing matters, this happens.
Son, I know it looks bad. We've been through a lot together. I just wanted you to know that no matter what happens, I love you. The way only a man could love a boy. Wait. Let me put that another way. Look, over there.
Oh my God! Half-Life dead? He-Hog on the brink of suicide? Where is this all leading? Stay tuned to MTV to find out.
Oh, hi. This is Rodney D, and I'll be chilling with the Weezer on MTV.
Excuse me, Rodney. It's like all wrong, man.
I'm doing it wrong, huh?
Yeah, wrong.
Let me ask you something. If I do it right, what does it mean?
So that's He-Hog the Atomic Pig. You know, I've only been doing this show for a little bit, and I can unequivocally say that this is the worst show ever made. It's gross, racist, misogynistic, and most of all, not funny. After John was rightfully canceled, he retreated to his cozy home on the internet, occasionally poking his head out to complain about the show.
There's definitely a shorthand drawing.
Yeah.
That looks like somebody didn't have time to think up an actual character design. Yeah, that's a very flat, angular, simple giant. Mine had a lot of details and was more lummoxy.
On one particular blog post, John would give a detailed critique of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, ultimately giving the film a 0. But you know what Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was? Funny! And you know what Phil Lord and Chris Miller are today? Employed. Something you will never, ever be again. Fuck you, John Krasinski.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Millions of families suffer every year.
See you next time.
It's the Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy song. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, 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 joy, joy, joy.